50 years after its installation, the Adam and Eve sculpture is removed from its base for restoration. Four months later, the restored sculpture returns to its home at the Hopkinson House. Moving the 2-ton bronze sculpture is not easy. The installation team handles the sculpture with care. Every step is thought out in advance. Adam and Eve was designed in 1963 by the visionary architect of the Hopkinson House, Oscar Stoneroff, who believed in the value of public space. Stoneroff asked his good friend, the Tuscan artist Horio Vivarelli, to craft the bronze sculpture, which is now considered one of the finest in the city. A world-renowned Philadelphia company, Materials Conservation, performed the restoration. They recently restored sculptures at the Rodin Museum. The workers assemble a gantry to lift the sculpture off its skid. The hoist lifts Adam and Eve to the proper height. The workers make sure that the steel chain of the pulley does not damage the sculpture. A custom-designed dolly carries Adam and Eve to the terrace. Even in transit, the beauty of the sculpture is readily apparent.
We're most centered, we're not too far off. Maybe a little bit more on this one if possible. Bring it this way here. Okay.
Moving the sculpture and pushing it up the ramp to the terrace requires many hands. Finally, the sculpture is on its way home. Skylar Blanchard explains the restoration.
My name is Skylar Blanchard, work with MCC. Well, when we removed the sculpture, we were targeting some of the deleterious ferrous metal that had been rusting through. I don't know if you guys remember, there's large fissures large cracks and open spaces through here, and there were large steel supports that had rusted out and blown some holes and expanded through some of the bronze. We removed the majority of it, or as much that we felt could have a negative impact in the long run. And Spot did a few, moved some of the previous supports. There's a few more small ferrous points that we did some brass pinning, threaded and peened them over, repatinaed and cleaned, dug out some of the collections of mud and pebbles that were found in all sorts of nooks and crannies, repatina and wax. This is a stainless 3/4 inch all thread that we're embedding into the concrete. We're recasting into the similar mounting points from the previous points. And this threads into new blocks that we put onto the base. And this will, well, in the chance that this does eventually hold water, these will no longer erode. So when we removed the previous ones, they were rusted out to about 1/8 of an inch, or smaller than a pencil. And that was what was holding the sculpture up. So we caught it in time.
The gantry is reassembled on the terrace to hoist Adam and Eve to the elevated garden. While the gantry carries the weight, the 4 new legs are fastened to the base of the sculpture. The legs are precisely designed to fit into the pre-existing holes.
Otherwise, we'd have to have welders and everything down here.
Here's where the restorers are holding their breath. Although the new legs were constructed to exact specifications, there was no way in the repair shop to test whether they would fit the pre-existing base on the terrace.
You drop it. You drop it. Yeah, you drop it. We'll line.
A little bit. Keep on. Keep on. Keep on. Yeah. We're going to be good. We're perfect.
The fit is perfect. The new stainless steel supports are tightened. Mortar is troweled into the holes.
Right.
Good?
Yep.
The sculpture is lowered into its permanent base. Adam and Eve have come home, their beauty and grace restored, here to enthrall future generations.